What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Strength Solutions podcast. And if you're listening today, we're on Apple, Spotify, and check us out on YouTube. If you're watching right now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and give us that good stuff. That good stuff. Now, if you're looking for our website, strengthsolutionspodcast.com, we have free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. Then, if you're looking for an amazing place to leave us fitness questions, it's strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. Strength Solutions Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. On Instagram, I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Okay, dude. I think we need to get in the fitness space and talk about like why looks don't matter. Mm-hmm. And what brings this to my attention is there's a guy who dresses up like a janitor. You know his name. What's his name?
Yes, Anatoly.
Right? Yeah. And he always goes up to these bodybuilders guys who are lifting weights and he's like, yeah, can I just try that or whatever? And he makes it seem like a struggle. Yeah. And then he starts doing it like nothing. And I think we need to separate aesthetics from strength sometimes.
Yeah, they're two very different things. I think one of the good examples that I've seen is on YouTube. There was this video. I think it was like Larry Wheels and some other guys who, big strong dudes, right? Bodybuilders mostly. And they had brought in a rock climber.
Yes.
To like work out with him. And, that guy was able to do quite a bit of the same stuff that they were doing just based on his grip strength alone, right? Just the ability to actually grab onto the weight and move it. Was he as big as them? No way. Not even close, but he was able to kind of go pretty toe to toe with them, at least on some of the movements, right? Like rowing and things like that, where grip strength comes to play. But strength and aesthetics are just two completely different sides, of fitness. Like maybe they're on the same coin, but they're two completely different sort of avenues and goals.
Yeah, and I think the big thing when it comes to strength, we don't realize how much central nervous system derived it is. Right? So let's say me and you have the same exact muscle, but if I can shoot mine out at 90% and you shoot yours out at 50%, well, I'm going to be way stronger because I have more impulse, use more muscle fibers, and I'm going to get more strength out of my workout.
You just have more efficiency. Yes. And we were talking about that with the strongmen that we had on the podcast recently, just about how that portion of it, right, that connection with your body is so important, and how it's just different than being aesthetic. And it's funny too, because I guess you could argue like, oh, well, don't bodybuilders have really good connection, right? Because that's all right? That's about feeling the muscle and moving through it and everything like that. But it's more about the ability to output that power.
Yeah, there's inefficiency and efficiency. What bodybuilders do is they're inefficient with movement patterns.
In fact, they're trying to be as inefficient as possible, right?
To create a muscle stimulus, while a strongman power lifter are trying to be as efficient with what muscle they have in a certain movement pattern, right, to carry that load. So they want to output the most from the central nervous system. Because
we were even talking with them about like being specialized, right? You know how you just get really, really good at doing one lift, like deadlift or overhead press or whatever it is. And it's just because their central nervous system is so good at doing that pattern.
And it's adapted, right? And this leads me to the topic of, dude, we literally have oversimplified fitness and overcomplicated nutrition.
Ooh,
right?
Interesting, yeah.
And so with fitness, a lot of times people talk about just move. And I want to get deeper into this and talk about the complexities of fitness, right? So I was literally having a conversation today with a client, and, people make judgments of bodybuilders or strongmen or whoever's like a very excellent. And I was like, you got to remember, in your frame of mind, they're not right, but they are right in their frame of mind.
Yeah.
And who they surround themselves with. We got to let go of this tribalism and understand there's different ways to work out for different goals and different things. So there's a stimulus, a response, and then what's your end goal at the end of the day, right? We got to figure out that. Like I was telling her, you can squat for muscle building. You can squat for mobility.
Yeah.
You can squat just to be able to control and be inefficient like a bodybuilder. Like you could change whether you put it more on the front side or heel side. You know, you can Cossack squat it and put it side to side laterally, work a little bit more of that. Everything comes down to what is your individual goal. Quit thinking your individual goal is what everybody else wants to do in their movement patterns and fitness. And two, you can have pain, and let's just say it's the knee. For one person, it's derived from the foot. For one person, it's derived from the ankle. Another person, it's from the hip. Another person, it's from the thoracic spine. Yet, they all have symptoms of knee pain. It's because it's complex. Movement is super complex, yet we say, just move.
Yeah, do this one stretch.
Do this one exercise.
Yeah.
Do this one thing. It's not that simple.
Very
Where
true.
the opposite, I feel it holds true with nutrition. If you follow these very simple rules, you'll get 95% to 90 to 95% of where you need to be. Hit your protein target, hit your calories consistent, and just be consistent weekly with all those.
Eat whole foods.
Eat whole foods.
Yeah.
You'll probably reach your goal most likely.
Yeah. Most of the time, I mean, that's really all it comes down to, you know, when a lot of my clients come in, and, you know, you can tell when some of them are a little more diligent about their eating than others. And I'll ask them, you know, like, hey, walk me through your day yesterday. You know, what did you have yesterday before coming in here, you know? And if they're telling me all this stuff, I'm like, okay, a lot of the times I find that if they are having whole foods or they're eating non-processed or just doing a good job, it's that they're under-proteined. That's what ends up being the issue. Yeah. So a lot of them, I'm just like, I don't really want you to change much about what you're eating, just adding in more protein or changing what you're eating to be more protein heavy as opposed to like carbohydrates or whatever else it is.
You know what's crazy is researchers show like weight loss, as long as you have protein and calories consistent, whether you choose more carbohydrates or fats, you're still going to lose weight based off of total calories and protein.
Yeah.
To lose the least amount of muscle, right?
Yeah.
Where exercise, it's like this exercise is the best, this exercise, and it's going to be according to what you want to do, but you at least need 2 to 3 days strength training. That's where you can simplify strength training. It's like, how many days do I need to work out? But when it comes into your individual like movement patterns, that's where it gets complex.
Yeah.
And then even like with nutrition, you'll see people like, well, you should have a protein shake. And then they complexity of it. Well, just use a protein shake as you're inefficient in protein, bump it up.
Yeah, I use it. It's a supplement, right? So it's supplemental. And a lot of the times I'll tell people to like, it's number one, it's always better to get it through food, right? So I'll always try and do that, of course. But if you do need a protein shake, that's fine. You know, a lot of people will be like, well, what time do I take it? You know, do I take it before or do I take it after? Should I take it in the morning or should I take it at night? Should I do it, you know, before this, whatever? And I'm just like, just drink it. At some point during your day, have it so that you're getting that extra protein. And that's really, again, like you're overcomplicating that portion of it, right? It's just get it in at some point during your day. Yeah, if you want to optimize, okay, take it at this time or whatever. But like right now, I just need you to get more protein. Yeah,
and we're talking about general population here. This probably speaks to 90 to 95% of people who make nutrition too hard because they heard this diet, that diet. And it really comes down to these simple factors, and what's in these simple factors, these rules apply.
Yeah.
And let's talk about like getting protein. And if you want to get enough protein throughout your day, it all stems simple from your first meal, or else you're going to be playing catch up
the rest of the day.
So if I don't hit at least 60 grams in my first meal, I am playing catch up all day.
And it's going to be a lot harder because at that point, your day started, you're at work, right? You didn't pack your lunch. You got to go do this. Like you said, like that first meal of the day, the first time you eat, whether that's at lunch or breakfast or whatever it is, just make sure it's the highest protein amount because the rest of the day, then you have like a sort of like a buffer, you know, you have more room that you can kind of space out the protein a little bit more, but you don't want to be trying to eat, you know, 90 grams of protein for dinner at night. It just ain't going to happen.
What do you mean, dude? That's what I love. I love that stuff. Just feed me the beef.
Just put it down.
Beef it up.
Juicy.
No, okay. Let's talk about like ways to help. We talk about breakfast is a big deal, right? Try to get that, or we should even call it breakfast. We should call it your first meal.
First meal, yeah.
Right. How do we reach that, right? We do that first. Now, the second meal, you got to make sure you're consistent too, because you don't want to wait too late and and then you're trying to catch up for dinner, like you're saying 90. So let's say if I'm a female and I weigh about 120 pounds, I want about 120 grams, right? So I need to set myself up with a 40-gram breakfast of protein. What does that look like? That is maybe 4 eggs. That's 30 grams plus some maybe ham, a couple slices of ham and things like that. That gets you close to 40. Or maybe you do 3 eggs and about 3 ounces of chicken with you. Like, figure out that 40 ounces.
Whatever works, yeah.
So there's different routes to go, right? Or you could have your yogurt with a little bit of extra protein powder in it. That's your breakfast because you need something really quick. I think too many times they just complicate. This is the best protein. This is the best thing. Like, yo, just chill out. Just make it 40 grams.
Yeah, whatever you can get.
So, did you see about the stem cells?
Yes.
Dude, this is amazing if this is where we're headed.
This is I sent it to you, remember? And I was just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, this is insane.
I thought you were drunk.
Yeah. Did you write this? No, it's insane. Yeah. So they used stem cells recently to reverse type 1 diabetes, not type 2, type 1, the one that you're born with, right? The genetic defect, essentially.
You don't produce insulin.
Yeah. That is insane, dude. Crazy.
Dude, the new research is crazy.
Yeah.
So this woman was 25 years old, always on an insulin pump, and then gone. Wild, dude.
The application of this, especially today as obesity level rises, more people are taking medication to try and lose weight, all of these things. And it's a cure. You know what I mean? It's not a medication. It's not, let's manage it. Let's get rid of it forever. And
you're born with it, right? Like, that's the coolest part. Like, where else is this stem cell research going?
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like this is the thing that we need to be looking at the most. It has the most applications, the most avenues, for curing a lot of things, for changing stuff, for people who suffer from stuff, especially for things like this that are like out of their control, so to speak. Like, it's just, you're born with it. It's genetic. It's something that happened. It wasn't like type 2 that happens later on in life because of sort of your own causes, the accountability. And so I think that this is crazy, man. I mean, I would love to see more of where this goes. And I feel like it's a better option than taking a medication like Ozempic or whatever it is,
I think in the next 10 years, we're in this medical engineering revolution, medical technology. And these pharmaceutical companies are on their last leg because there's better options. There's things that are more natural to your body, that are just not having as many side effects. And maybe these companies are on their last leg, desperate, because these things are like, that's curing it, right?
Yeah.
So that's taking something off the market.
Yeah, you're getting rid of an entire line of medications.
And peptides are natural to the body. Now we're healing the gut better. We're, injecting BPC 157 into sites that are injured and recovering faster.
It seems like we're going more into how can we use things that we already produce, right, to heal ourselves, as opposed to trying to take something external, and I think that's a good avenue to go down.
Well, it's crazy because if you watch athletes, and this is why I like sports, is the recovery time. People are like, how are these athletes recovering so fast? They don't realize these athletes have peptides, stem cells. They're doing all these things to recover and get better. So last year when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, everybody was like hailing the surgery. Maybe the surgery technique was better, but you still got to heal from the surgery.
Yeah.
And this dude was walking within 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
And they were even talking about him playing football again, which I knew wasn't going to happen because they're going to risk re-injuring the Achilles.
Right.
But that would never happen before because he's taking probably BPC, stem cells, all these other things. But people just think it's the surgery because they don't understand what's going on behind the background.
The fact that it was even a conversation that he could return quickly, in the past, that'd have been like career ending. you know, like he's done forever, you know, and that's just it. And so I don't know what avenue he took after that, but it's like the fact that that was even an option is just.
Dude, how's LeBron still playing at 40? How did Tom Brady still play at 40?
Like the age of athletes is continuing to become
extended.
Longer, you know,
It's
whereas
wild.
in the past, if you were 30, you might as well be, you know, in a wheelchair, you know, because it's just like you're done. Like it's far past your prime.
Today we were talking as guys about testosterone in the gym and just like how prevalent it is now for everybody to start taking it.
Yeah.
And dude, it changed my recovery like overnight. Remember I was telling you when I first started taking it? It was just like, oh wow, like I can recover.
It's crazy when you start doing things like that or start using it, stuff that you don't produce enough of.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, like this is my potential. You know, like this is where I could be if I'm consistent with this, or if I'm taking this medication, or if I'm exploring different ways to recover my body or do things like that. I have a client right now that I was talking to about that recently. And we were kind of talking about his past experiences in sports and trying to lose weight, et cetera, and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, you might want to go get checked. You know what I mean? Like you may as well. And same conversation. He's a little bit younger than I am. And he was like, yeah, but come on. Like, you know, is it really, can I be low? And I was like, I know I've heard stories of people who you'd never think were low and were anyway, you know, and telling him about my experience and stuff like that. So I don't know, man, we'll see. Especially I like when clients kind of start to take it. I've had maybe one, maybe two who have done it. And you can see the difference between them and others that aren't on it.
Dang. Speaking of recovery, drugs and stuff like that, there's a special drug that's to my heart. And that's getting mice off the street in New York City. They're going to give birth control to mice. Did you see that?
Dang, that's crazy. I need to give some
Is the
birth
mice
control.
problem that bad in New York City?
Dude, I've heard it is, man. Like it's like rampant. People are freaking out. Yeah.
You know, if my pizza doesn't come with the mice on the side, it's not good.
This ain't New York, man.
It's not New York.
I know that the population is out of control, but I also know like just the sheer size of them is a lot larger than just what you would consider as like a normal rat or whatever it is. Like, I guess just because the environment maybe is able to, because the environment is able to breed for such a large population, it's also going to be able to breed for larger actual, you know, individual not species, but individual animals, you know what I mean? And so I would imagine they would need to do something like that, or find some sort of like, I don't know, natural predator to like release, you know, like that isn't gonna impact humans that live there or whatever and stuff. So I don't know, because otherwise, what do you do, man? How the hell are they even gonna distribute this to fucking rats? What are they gonna do? Walk around and be like,
they're probably put in a little pellets.
Just like bait
Come on,
them
bro,
out.
this
Yeah,
is
just
simple.
leave them all over. Yeah.
But okay, if they give them to rats and the rats like dump it into the sewage system,
See, that's
it's
what I'm
gonna
thinking
affect
too.
humans. Like
Yeah.
we're not thinking like down the road.
Yeah. Or if there is natural predators, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, is it gonna
Just
affect
find more
them?
cats.
Yeah, just release a million cats into some more problems. You know, it's funny.
And then you buy the cats, then you get the dogs to chase them away.
It's crazy. So this is actually
since dogs, there's too many dogs. Then you eat the dogs like the Haitians.
yeah. Eating the dogs, and eating the cats. Yeah. And so this is a funny conversation to actually bring up, because I've been talking to my brother, because we were having some squirrel issues at my house, trying to get rid of the squirrels, right? And I was like, man, I need like a natural predator to come around. Like I need like an owl or something to hang out, you know, to like take care of them, because otherwise I don't really know what to do. And he was telling me
what
that
sucks is they like nuts and you're allergic to nuts. There must be nuts around here.
yeah, I can't even do anything about it. And he was telling me that at his place right now that they were having trouble with like stray cats. And so they were having trouble with the cats or whatever. And I guess, I don't know if he either said like the complex they live in, or if they just took it upon themselves to like get some sort of repellent to get the cats away. And he was like, it worked. But when we got rid of the cats, snakes started showing up, because the cats were taking care of the snakes. Oh. And so he was like, we had to stop doing that, because that's like an even worse problem. Yeah. And he's like, now the cats are back, but the snakes are gone. And it's just like, it's always like another thing down the food chain. Yeah.
Mufasa was right. There's a circle of life.
It's a circle of life. You gotta just respect it. You know? And so that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, dude, I get rid of the squirrels and then what's next? You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck they're taking care of, that now.
It's like a certain bug or spider.
Yeah, spider, bug, whatever it is. Like now they're gonna just be rampant all over the place. And it's like, goddamn, now I wish the squirrels were back.
It's cool to see. We keep on trying to mess with the environment, yet the environment adapts and changes. Something else becomes a problem.
No matter what. Right?
It almost speaks to me like how, okay, now we created plastics, but then plastic's a problem. Now we have to get plastics out of our body. What do we do to that to get it out of our bodies? Well, we're to do something. Well, that's going to cause another side effect. And we constantly are in a problem.
There's always like a consequence. You know what I mean? No matter what the action is, there's always a consequence. Even if the action is positive, like.
So it's like, okay, we went from horses to cars, too many cars causing pollution. Now we have electric cars because we say electric cars are better, but yeah, electric cars are causing just as much of the pollution. And then you can't hear a Tesla, and then people are getting hit that are blind because they can't hear it, or even if they don't hear it and they're just walking across. Now we have to make noise in the Tesla. Like, it's just like a revolving door.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's just there's always going to be a new problem.
Always going to be a new problem. Like you're never going to fix everything. There's never going to be perfect. You just got to kind of, I don't know, keep trying to find the best balance, I guess, right? It's about the balance. It's not about solving the problem.
Yeah, it's just like when you do Simon Says, dude, like in that competition, he was all, hands up.
Oh, hands yeah. You sent me that, right? Yeah, it was like a Simon Says competition. That was pretty cool, man.
That was intense.
Yeah, yeah.
And the whole crowd, it just shows me there's an audience for everything.
Yeah, yeah. One of my friends sent me like a rock, paper, scissors competition thing that was happening in Japan, and that was pretty cool too. But for the Simon Says one, I was like, that's a really good, like yeah, you're looking at it and you're like, this is stupid. Like, this isn't gonna be, there's no athleticism there. Maybe like athleticism, quote unquote. It's like reaction time. You know what I mean? Like focus, like who has the best reaction time essentially is what you're doing. And the way they were doing the Simon Says, it wasn't like Simon Says, hop on one leg. Now stop. You know what I mean? It was like Simon Says hands up, hands down, hands up, hands down. Simon Says arms out. Simon Says, and it was like, and dude, they had to just be on it the whole time, and it was fast as fuck. And I was like, how the hell?
I would have been gone fast. My ADD, like, huh?
Yeah, it was really cool. That was actually kind of badass, man. I would like to see that like happen more.
Live.
Have you ever seen?
It's come to the Olympics.
Yeah, yeah. They should. So recently, or not recently, but I've been watching. Sometimes they'll have, I don't know, like tag tournaments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That would be cool. I would watch that in the Olympics. I think that's pretty good.
They should have like a games that's not the same year as the Olympics, but the year after, like the non-traditional game.
Yeah.
And get it popular.
That would be cool because I think people would. That's like that has an entertainment.
You could do like a laser tag game in a thing.
And I think the thing with that too is that it's more like accessible. Like it doesn't matter. Everybody's like, I know how to play tag. Laser tag, there's no like
paintball.
Yeah, stuff like that where it's like, oh, I'm watching the diving, but I have no fucking idea what's happening or how they're scoring them or what's important, And so that would be fun.
All right, I want to get back into fitness because that's what we do. There's a trainer who was calling out our friend Joel Steedman, and you know what I liked about the way he called him out? He's like, dude, and he's calling out all trainers that do this is, dude, he has actually helped the fitness industry. He's done 80 to 90% of his training is really good, but he always shows the 10% that is just stupid, ridiculous, and dumb and ridiculous. Like I showed you the other day, he had the iron neck on, holding dumbbells, doing a lunge, and then there was something else he was doing. And it's just for clout on social media, and he gets people that way. And the reason he's pissed is like, this guy was legit, but now he's doing this to get people, and it causes the issue. Because
even there was one that you sent me, and he was like doing like a barbell squat, and he had
that one was fucking dangerous.
He had one leg on like an ab roller, like a little ab dolly type thing, and then like he moves it over, switches legs, puts it again on there, and he's got like 315 pounds on his back. You know what I mean? Even if
Those are fake plates, bro.
Maybe
probably 25.
Maybe, yeah. And even if he is like doing quarter squats or quote unquote 90 degrees or whatever the fuck it is, it's like, dude.
The wrist,
I mean, I'm pretty sure
the wheel just pops. And
like I know nobody's really gonna go try that, but like, let's say someone does, you're creating this atmosphere of like, I know what's up and this is the real shit and this is, whatever. And someone's going to be like, oh my God, yeah, this guy's really smart. And it's like, if he went out and was like, I work with a lot of injured people who've had, really, really hard lives, or I work with athletes who are more about power through that top part. And I really focus on that 90 degree and just going through that. So I would respect him a lot more. I think a lot more trainers would respect him a lot more. He would be like an asset, you know what I mean? Correct. For people when I'm like, oh, okay, I'm trying to train a basketball player. Maybe I should go look at his shit and see what he's doing. Yeah. Right. Oh, I'm training someone who's had multiple hip surgeries and knee surgeries and just can't squat deep. How do I get them to work lower body without hurting them? And it's like, but now I'm looking at him fucking doing iron neck trap bar reverse lunges on a Bosu ball. And I'm like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. And this is why social media, the bad part of it is guys like this with no integrity get a lot of stuff. Yeah. But I guarantee you in the next 2 to 3 years, he will go away.
Maybe, man. Maybe.
The only thing that's going to help him is he has actual legit training at his facility.
Because otherwise...
That's the only thing that keeps him alive. But if he wasn't a legit trainer...
Yeah, because he does have real athletes that are
he does have real athletes, and there's some of the exercises he does show. I'm like, okay, that is actually a really good.
There's been a few that you'll show me, and I'm like, this is pretty good. I can't say anything about it. Like it makes sense.
It's the ones that are like the one I showed you last time.
Yeah, because it'll be like, 10 exercises I'm doing with like NFL linebacker, blah blah blah. And it's like 1 out of those 10, I'm like, that's pretty badass. The other ones, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, did you just tell him like, hey bro, like, can you just do these dumb things for me so I can post it on social media?
And all because somebody looks explosive, looks powerful, or looks great aesthetically. They might have great disciplined eating. They may have great genetics. It's just, it's unfair to people to know good training, or it's hard for people to know good training because of genetic variabilities. Yeah. And I think that's the hardest part because athletes are like the best compensators ever.
Yeah. That's what makes them so good.
They make them so good. Before we go on to a good study about peeing on ourselves, I want to give a shout out to Austin for an amazing deadlift.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
And bro, you got this.
That was fucking awesome. That was a good day, man. Just watching all of that together was fun.
And then seeing Nick on the sideline yelling.
Yeah. Him being there, just like knowing the small amount that we know them, it was just cool to see them out there. Cool to see them fucking pushing shit, and like really
getting there. He carried that car easily.
Dude, he did the circus dumbbell press with the car walk. What else? There was other the wrecking ball hold, all those things. And like just in terms of the deadlift itself, like I mean, I think we could both agree that he definitely had the best form out of anybody out there deadlifting. Like, dude, it was just so perfect. Even at astronomical
even
weights.
The one he failed was really good. He had it. Even the strongmen that were commentating was like, he had it.
Dude, it was right there. It's just one of those things. It just happens when you're in competition and stuff like that.
It just shows you like at that level, one misstep.
Yeah. And that's the thing too.
The lift is done.
I was watching a video from another previous strongman competitor named Martins Lisis, and he was in the back and he had recorded it. And you can see at the top of the lift, it's like the toes come up just a little bit, come back down, and that was it. But it's like when you're holding that much weight,
pounds?
It's like
1,046.
I don't know. It's 425 kg or something like that. Yeah. Dude, it's just a minuscule mistake will just ruin the whole thing, and it's just, that's like how high level this shit is.
That shows you the amount of focus. Yeah. Maybe it was too easy for him and he just like lost that focus.
Yeah, maybe.
I need to ask, we're going to talk to him this weekend. I'm going to ask him.
Yeah.
Was it just too easy?
Was it just too easy, bro? Yeah. You were going to hit it for like 5.
Yeah, dude, like he got it up.
Dude, it did go up. It did go up super fast. It was great, man. To all the athletes, who did it.
I actually can't wait to see him this weekend.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. That'd be super cool.
All right, let's go to study number 1. Low impact yoga and exercise found to help older women manage urinary incontinence. So if you're peeing on yourself, ladies, you want to try yoga.
Yeah.
So in the research, after about 12 weeks of low impact yoga program, the study participants had 65% fewer episodes of incontinence.
Wow.
So I really think it has nothing to do with yoga itself, but the fact that they're using the core and training the core. I wonder if it would have been better to go to like a physical therapist who specializes
like pelvic
floor.
Yeah.
And then teach them exercises, full body, like a squat and stuff. Teach them how to use those core muscles in that realm. If they would have got better results, or if it was the yoga,
it would have been similar. You know, I'm going to take a different aspect of it and talk about like the stress relief part of it. And how maybe doing the yoga itself just kind of helped relieve stress.
Such genius, this guy.
Help like just lower all of the levels of the body, right? To where maybe you can focus more, you have more control over the area. I know some people who have pelvic floor issues, it's more of like the tightness of it, right? Actually, and trying to release. And so I don't know. I can imagine there's a lot of different reasons why this could help with that, you know.
But core activation for sure.
Overall, I would imagine that that's like the main aspect of why this helped, being more in control, being able to kind of strengthen those muscles back, because over time, right, they just weaken. You know, I don't know. I wonder, did it say how old the people were who did this?
They were older. I think it was like 50 plus.
50 plus, yeah. So I can imagine, you know, over time it just gets weak if you're not
or
as
if you
active.
had kids.
If you've had kids, yeah, which I'm sure a majority of them have. Like, there's a lot to this, man. And so, like you said, I wonder if the pelvic floor would have been better. I wonder if like focused core training and resistance training would have been something similar. Who knows? You know.
I wish they would do studies with men sometimes about peeing, because they have trouble peeing, like pushing it out.
Yeah.
And I wonder if like they could go to like pelvic floor to like create a little bit of awareness. Because remember, we had the pelvic floor specialist. There's not that much awareness for men in trouble with their pelvic floor.
There's one person on YouTube who I found, and she like specializes in like men's pelvic floor health. And
she must like digging in the prostate.
Yeah, that's all she does it for. That's it.
The prostate.
And it's interesting, because it's like you look it up, you know, and it's like there's fucking maybe like 3 or 4 people who do that type of stuff, you know, when if I type in pelvic floor health for women, it's a saturated market, you know, there's probably so many people doing it. Yeah,
dude. It was a really, really good study. Now this study, if you don't feel like working out during the week, but you want to be a weekend warrior, this is the study for you. It's called the Weekend Warrior Physical Activity May Help Protect Against More Than 200 Diseases.
Wow.
So in this study, they compared inactivity and a weekend warrior pattern of exercise. And the concentrating most on moderate to vigorous physical activity in 1 to 2 days during the week, or more evenly distributed physical activity pattern, which was about 20 minutes per day.
Okay.
Which we talked about, 15-minute workouts making a big difference, right?
Yeah.
And it lowered the risk of diseases across 16 categories, from heart to digestive conditions to mental health and neurological illness. The findings indicate that concentrated physical activity patterns may be just as effective for disease prevention as patterns where exercise is spread out throughout the week. So whether they were a weekend warrior or they spread it out throughout the week, it was about the same results. And then the group that was not sedentary, of course, their risk factors went higher. Among the people who met the recommendations to do the 20 to 30 minutes or the weekend warrior benefits, they tend to do a lot better. And there's about 120 to 150 minutes of physical activity. And I believe the statistic was about 46% lower percentage of cardiovascular, or 23 for cardiovascular disease and 46% lower risk of diabetes.
Wow.
Were the main ones.
And that's kind of what we talk about, of just like getting in like the bulk volume of working out whenever you can, right? Like if the goal is 150 minutes per week, right? You could do 30 one day, 10 another day, another 30 this day, 5 this day, maybe the next week you can do a whole 45, right? And it's just getting something in so that at the end of the week you have that full kind of 150 minutes. And so I like that, man, because it's kind of positive on both ends, right? It's like, hey, you do a little bit every day, or you do a lot on 2 days. As long as you're getting in the 150 minutes per week, then you're probably pretty solid.
Yeah. All right, guys, before we go to fitness questions, if you like what we're doing, you could rate us and review us on Apple and Spotify. Then check us out on YouTube. I'm going to give you a moment to give us a good like, to give a good subscribe, and show us some good love. And Nathaniel's not showing the hair, so it's kind of hard today.
Yeah, sorry.
And then if you're looking for a place with free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase, it's strengthsolutionspodcast.com. Then if you're looking for a place to email us, strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com, future fitness questions, social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Did I miss one?
Nope, that's it.
Oh. Strength Solutions Podcast, AOL. Strength Solutions Podcast. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Okay, first question. Should I change my exercise every day, every week, or once a month? So I'm assuming they're meaning their exercise routine.
Okay.
Right. Now, where are you on the scale of things?
Yeah.
So someone who's a little bit more experienced can technically switch every day or every week. But for most people, I recommend general population, maybe once a month.
Yeah.
Try to follow a routine 4 weeks in a row and then change up the routine 4 weeks in a row, change up the routine.
I would say if you're a little more like you need that change a little bit more often because you just get maybe a little bored or whatever it is, you just need different, say stick with 4 weeks. If you can kind of manage it going out a little bit more, I think 6 weeks is pretty good. I kind of like doing 6 weeks now. I feel like I get more out of it. And then by the time I'm ready to change, I'm like ready to change. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm excited for that change. Whereas before it's kind of like, it feels too fast, too quick. Yeah, I would say generally, like you said, stay away from, don't do every day for sure. I think that's far too much. I've known people who are like, yeah, on Monday I go light, and then on Tuesday I do really heavy sets, and then on Wednesday I go, and I'm just like, that's too fucking much. You're doing too much.
I think another reason why we like that is because you have to have different mindsets when you go into heavy or you go into endurance training. And if you switch too often, then let's say I switch one day endurance, one day heavy, like the framework of my mind and how it has to work and how my muscles have to work, it's just too much. You got to
really kind of stay consistent with something for a little while before you go on to the next one.
All right. Question number 2. What are things about fitness that has changed that you really like? Most people always talk about the bad.
Oh, okay.
So what are things that I like? I actually like the ease and access of information. I think the information is so much easier, which comes with the bad too. But I think it actually helps speed up my ability to learn and train and become better at fitness. And I think I'm seeing it in the younger generation where when they come to work out, they can understand training a little bit better than my clients that are mid-30s and up.
So overall, just like more education, right? It's definitely talked about way more than I remember it. I mean, because like when I was younger, like the most fitness that people talked about was like Biggest Loser and shit like that. It was almost kind of, I don't want to say romanticized, but like, I don't know. It was almost a show, a thing that you did. You know what I mean? It was almost kind of on the outskirts. Yeah. But now I feel like it's very common almost, to talk about. Most people know at least a little bit of something about it or whatever. I'm going to go a little bit different here and say something that probably, we talk a lot of, I don't want to say bad about, but like group classes. Like the other day I was at the gym and I walked in and there was this giant group class happening on the turf at Crunch. And dude, people were just like fucking having fun. Like they were just like hooting and hollering and like laughing and like having a good time. And I was like, damn, like, I don't want to even deadlift right now. That shit looks kind of fun, man. Like, and I think it's cool that there's like that accessibility. People can just go and do something and have fun. So I know we talk a lot of how maybe it's not the best option, but I do like the fact that fitness is like sometimes looked at as just being fun. Now, I want to put on those little jumping boots and jump around sometimes, I want to bounce on the ball. Yeah.
But that's not like a main workout.
No, but it's fun. You know what I mean? It's something people can do.
All right. Question number 3. I'm about 15% body fat and I want to get lower.
Oh,
will I have to be much more serious about my nutrition? Yes, there's no way.
Dude.
I think around like 15% males, like you start having to be real serious. Like you got to like plan out your desserts and like, I can't have this drink Like that's when it starts getting a little tougher, about 12 to 15. And then it gets even tougher. Like you're talking about maybe dessert once a month.
Yeah.
Like getting below like to single digits and stuff like that.
Like I was having a conversation with a client today, and he came in at about like 22% body fat. And I was like, dude, that's not bad. You know, it's not terrible at all. And it's funny because you could see him and he was like, what? Like confused as to why I was saying that. And I was like, you're like, it's okay. You know, like it's not bad.
Yeah. You're not that far from like the healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I'd probably, like I tell most of my male clients, I'm like, you probably feel best, look the best, can still socialize pretty well, like live a normal life from like 20 to 15%, like somewhere in that range, you know, and you're going to just like be overall like, yeah, this is the best. Right. Getting lower than that. Now we started talking about like, all right, you know, it's going to be
different friend choices.
You got to make different friend choices. Social life's going to be different. You maybe not have as much energy, you know, things like that.
And I used to have energy between 10 to 15.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say so. Yeah.
About when you start getting single digits, that's when it starts like, maybe dipping.
And same thing too. Yeah. If you start getting above that 20%, if you're in that 30%, you know, over than that, then now we're just kind of on the opposite end of it. So yeah, for sure. You definitely are going to have to be a lot more serious about that, even more so now.
All right. Question number 4. Just starting out, what is more important, nutrition or fitness? Both.
Yeah, both. I would say, I mean, I guess it depends too on the type of person you are. Did you play sports in school? You know, when you were younger, are you more, I would say the one that's more important is the one that you do least. Right. So if you know your diet is the one that sucks the most, then okay, yeah, diet's going to be more important. If you're pretty good about your diet, but you hate working out, okay, then the working out is going to be the more important one. I'm
going to give you a different answer.
Yeah,
I think whatever gets you going. You know, if nutrition, like focusing on that leads you to work out more, or if working out leads you to get into nutrition more, whichever is the one that jumpstarts you.
Yeah, the catalyst.
For me, it's fitness, right?
Yeah.
Jumpstarts me. Some people, when they start eating well, now I need to start working out. So like it jumps them.
It's the domino effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
Yep. All right, guys, if you like what we're doing, find us on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Then you can check out our YouTube channel. You can leave a comment down below. So surprise us with a good subscribe. Then hit the like button. Then an email is strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. Strengthsolutionspodcast.com for free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Strength Solutions Podcast. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions
Until next
Nathaniel.
time, guys. What? Boop, boop.